Hey guys, welcome again to the channel. I want to give you that update, that weekly update on the M1 dividend portfolio. I know it's been a crazy time crazy last couple of days. I want to say last 3-4 days or business days. Last week we kept hearing Tesla was gonna, do their quarterly reports, and it was crazy, shitty reports, to say the least. So I'm not going to get too much into the Tesla reports. I just want to give you guys an M1 dividend portfolio update. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's take it back to 2 days ago. On the 22nd, we had our weekly deposit for $50, right? And we can see we executed 2 buys. And again, yesterday or the day before that, actually on the 23rd, we had another deposit. And the reason for that second deposit was that I got a check from my mortgage company because I had more than enough funds in it. So I decided, why not? Let's live a little dangerously here and make another deposit in the same week. But anyways, yeah, so on that deposit, we had 6 buys. So let's go over them. So on that first buy, we had VYM and VUG. So if you guys remember, or if I remember correctly, I think must have been a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago or so, we rebalanced our lazy portfolio, right? We took out, if I remember correctly, we took out bond ETF, BND, and we took out, I want to say BNDX, but nah, that's not accurate. I think it was VTSAX, right? VTSAX. So the reason why we took those out, we'll go over it a little bit. We said that bond ETFs or bonds in general, they don't make sense to my generation or the future generations. Maybe if you're looking for that consistent cash flow, if you're retired or close to retirement, maybe you want to move something or move your funds to something a little bit more reliable. Then I guess bonds or bond ETFs, it works. But if you want that, what we're trying to achieve is the FIRE lifestyle over here, which, remember, that's financially independent, retire early. It just doesn't suit our needs, right? It won't help out the portfolios. So instead of having the bond ETF, we took out, or instead of having the bond ETF, BND, we put in VYM, and which is Vanguard's high yielding dividend ETF or high dividend yield ETF, something like that. I can't remember the specific of the name. And then we also took out VTSAX because remember we said that a lot of these companies, right, there's no point in having in your portfolio an ETF that focuses on international markets, right? Because a lot of these companies already have international exposure, right? We travel the world and we see McDonald's, we see Starbucks, we see Apple, we see Microsoft, right? So if those companies are going to be in your portfolio already through something like VOO, then there's no need to have VTSAX, right? So, or there's no need to have an international exposure. And so by taking out a VTSAX or VTSAX, we added VUG, right? Which is Vanguard's growth ETF, if I remember correctly. So what we did is we redid the lazy portfolio and we took out bond ETF, international exposure, and we added some high dividends and growth, right? So I think that is a modern take, right? A more recent modern take into the lazy portfolio, right? So if you're, a kid, if you're, young, I believe that if you're on the younger side, or even, I'm in my mid 30s, you can still just start off with a lazy portfolio and just set it, forget it. And I believe that's like a fire and forget type of portfolio, right? You're going to see growth, you're going to see dividends, and you're just going to reap the benefits and reap the dividends and the profits, in the long term. So that is the reason why we took those 2 out. We added these 2, and so the algorithm is trying to catch up on leveling out those percentages that I said in each of these slices, which is the VYM and VUG. And if I'm reading or if I'm predicting the algorithm correctly, The algorithm said, hey, markets are kind of shitty this, or they're gonna, they're going to be shitty, so we're not gonna buy, what we've been buying recently, right? Which is a lot of REITs and stuff like that. We're gonna focus on leveling up that lazy portfolio and having a little bit more of a balanced balanced portfolio, right? So there you have that. And so for that second buy on the 23rd, I believe that was yesterday, I bought some more. I bought some of the stuff that it's been buying, some REITs since the beginning of their portfolio or the beginning of this journey. And it also bought some Cornerstone, right? I bought some Cornerstone, and it added more VYM and VUG, which is amazing, right? The Cornerstones, I believe, is it's what I'm anchoring the portfolio. I'm setting high percentages when it comes to the pies or the pie slices in that portfolio, because I'm a huge fan of the Cornerstones, right? And so I believe those are the ones that are gonna really, really solidify the portfolio into achieving that FIRE lifestyle, right? So these are the executions it did for yesterday on that extra $50 deposit. So to begin summarizing the portfolio, we can see that we definitely took a hit. I mean, you can't really see it unless you're like, or maybe it's gonna come out on your screen on the top right. You can see a small little dip, right? And I believe that was all last week. But then you see that it's starting to come back up, right? And that was the last like 2 days, right? That was like maybe Monday and Tuesday. And Monday and Tuesday were amazing, right? They were very conflicting, very unpredictable, right? Tesla, I said I was going to do Tesla. I wasn't going to say Tesla, so I'll just keep it brief. But Tesla came out with probably some of the shittiest quarterly reports that I've seen for Tesla, in recent times, or that I can remember, right? And even though it was just a shitty quarterly report, the stock went up. People kept buying. People just bought all throughout, like after hours, and even during trading hours. This morning, I mean, the last time I checked it, it was up. It was up, from like the 140s. I think the last time I checked, maybe like an hour ago, it was like in the 160s, which is, I mean, wow. What a contradiction, right? It's shitty reports, and then boom, people, yeah, I'm not gonna sell it. I'm just gonna buy more. And I guess if you look at it from a different perspective, that makes sense, because I mean, Tesla's not going anywhere, right? I don't think it's going anywhere. So people are just waiting for that dip to buy in, and I think that's what's happening. If I'm reading the market correctly, based on experience, I think that's what's happening. People are such fans of this company that they wait for that massive dip, and then they massively come in. So I think that is contributing to that small little like piece of like upward trend you see at the edge of the top right screen. So with that being said, we're up on the net cash flow, $21,406. We've lost $736. And so we've gotten, throughout the life of the portfolio, we've gotten $1,716.42 in dividends. So when you put that against your losses, we're up $979.94, giving us a rate of return of 7.47%, right? Which is right in the sweet spot. And that's going to cap off the video, guys. Hope you guys found some value over here. Again, if you guys, need some help, or you want to chat, DM, whatever, reach out to me. Again, DM, comment, save, share the video. Remember, I'm not a professional. I'm just a guy with a passion for dividend investing, and I like to share that passion, with the world. So just a guy on social media, right? Don't listen to me. Just spreading the love. So keep investing, and until next time, take care.